watching Twin Tiers Evening News with Jeff Androlonis and Alexa Olson. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, WVTT proudly presents Twin Tiers Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Valerie Tysaner. Alexa Olson and Jeff Androlonis are off tonight. The big story on the Twin Tiers Evening News. With the gun debate in full swing in Washington, police in the Twin Tiers are making sure they're prepared if ever faced with a shooter situation. That's why the town of Cuba Police and the New York State Police will be hosting an active shooter drill at Cuba Rushford High School this week. The Cuba Rushford Central School Youth Corps and staff will be participating to assist as actors for the drill, but the drill is not going to be open for public participation. Police say they want to hold this training drill to establish uniformity between all of their law enforcement agencies in all surrounding counties.
We have multiple agencies. I think we have approximately 48 police officers from about 9 to 10 different agencies participating, and they're cycling through certain segments of the day, certain time slots, and we are kind of merging departments together so that we kind of work together, different agencies coming together to work. We have never done one in depth here in Cuba, but we're going to hopefully start to do them frequently.
And in New York City, law enforcement and community leaders joined together today to get guns off the street. They say you can anonymously turn in a gun and receive money along with a supportive mentor if needed. The goal is to get violence off the streets and young people back on the right track. Also happening today in New York City, a lawsuit looking at stopping the display of a cross-shaped steel beam which was found among the rubble at the World Trade Center. Well, it's been thrown out. U.S. District Judge Deborah Batts rejected the argument that the cross should be taken down because it endorses Christianity and diminishes the contributions of non-Christian rescuers. Batts says that the cross, quote, helps demonstrate how those at Ground Zero coped with the devastation they witnessed that day. Well, what's your opinion on the story? Join the conversation at our Facebook page at facebook.com/WVTT News. April 1st looks like the start of a lot of things. One of those firsts is opening day for fishermen in the Twin Tiers. April 1st marks the start of trout and salmon fishing seasons. The Department of Environmental Conservation is reminding anglers that cold water and icy banks could create dangerous conditions. Governor Andrew Cuomo today welcomed the 2013 trout and salmon fishing season by inviting New Yorkers of all ages to participate in the many fishing opportunities offered at lakes, ponds, streams, and creeks across the state. These efforts are part of Governor's New York Open for Hunting and Fishing initiative, which was launched earlier this year. Cuomo says that fishing is a great activity to connect people to the outdoors. He adds that New York has some of the finest and most diverse fishing opportunities in the country. Check out New York's DEC website to find out where you can get a fishing license and where you can cast your line. And it looks like the flu season is finally coming to end, and no, that's not an April Fool's joke. According to the Centers for Disease Control in New York, flu activity is declining. Right now, New York is experiencing the tail end of the flu season, and the CDC wants to remind you that if you come down with something, it's probably not the flu. It's probably instead due to the change in temperatures or allergies. According to recent reports, the flu is at its weakest point since early December, and it feels like it's been lingering considering the flu struck about 4 weeks earlier than normal this year. Well, New York's newly passed budget includes a higher minimum wage and tax credits to help cover what employers spend on it. According to that budget, the minimum wage is set to increase steadily until it reaches $9 an hour in the year of 2016. The state is offering tax credits to business owners who hire teenagers to fill their minimum wage positions. But the credits are only available for workers who fall between 16 and 19 years old who are still in school and hired as seasonal help. Well, a Wellsville woman is behind bars this morning after police arrested her for an alleged domestic incident in the town of Scio. According to New York State Police, 41-year-old Laura Young is charged with second-degree strangulation and second-degree criminal contempt, among other charges. That's after an alleged incident that occurred on Saturday. Young is due back in court in April. A brutal alleged assault by a Jamestown man has police investigating. According to Jamestown Police, 20-year-old Akeem T. Sims was involved in an alleged incident that happened around 2:30 Saturday morning. Police say Sims was yelling at a woman, which escalated into a fight with Sims allegedly throwing the woman to the ground, causing her to lose consciousness. According to police records, Sims then proceeded to punch, kick, and spit on the victim before dragging her across the street by her hair. Once that victim regained consciousness, it's alleged that Sims restrained her to prevent her from escaping. He has been taken into custody and is now being held pending his arraignment on assault, unlawful imprisonment, and disorderly conduct charges. Well, a Bradford woman is facing charges today after a car accident on early Sunday morning. According to police, 23-year-old Kaylin Piper was driving on Route 219 near Bradford Bypass when she lost control of her vehicle, struck a barrier, and then hit the guardrail on the other side of the road. She was taken to BRMC for treatment of her injuries. The American Institute of Economic Research has come up with its top 75 best college towns and cities for students. The AIER polls data from a host of federal agencies, including the Census Bureau, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the National Science Foundation, and Small Business Administration. And number one on that list is right here in New York State. It's Ithaca. Ithaca is the home of Cornell University, Ithaca College, and Tompkins Cortland Community College. The list was based on student diversity, unemployment rate, degree attainment, and earning potential among others. Number two on the list of best college towns was Ames, Iowa, the home of Iowa State University, and number three is right in our sister state, Pennsylvania, in State College, which is home of Penn State. And speaking of colleges, Syracuse became the first team to make it to the Final Four in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. They beat Marquette by 16 points with a score of 55-39. Both teams battled it out in the first half with a score of only 24-18, but the Orange dominated the second half, pulling off the win. They will play Michigan next. But what seems to have everyone's attention is the game last night between Louisville and Drake. Louisville's guard Kevin Ware suffered a heartbreaking and leg-breaking injury for that matter, as he landed awkwardly on his leg and broke it in two places. CBS Sports stopped playing the replay because his injury was so graphic. Ware was taken off the court on a stretcher, but moments before that, he pleaded with his teammates to win the game. This is what they had to say after their big win.
We have to do this for Kevin. That's our whole thing. Coach, told us that we need to get him back home. And, I think it would have been a tougher loss for us if we would have went out there and lost. And, I think that would have hurt him more than the actual injury. So, when we went out there, we just tried to go out there and play together as a team. We hit a little run, they hit a run, and then we just, made our last run. And everybody really came together, and, we just tried to stay together as a team. That's all we could do when we went out there. And, not seeing number 5 throw up the lob to Montrez before the game was, something different at halftime. But, everybody pulled together, and we got it done.
And WVTT sent out a camera crew today to talk to some Twin Tiers residents to see what they thought of the game.
Man, I heard about his leg, it was a shame. I don't think he's going to go to the NBA because it's going to take a long time to fix his leg up.
But I seen him being taken out on a stretcher. I think that athletes they'll come back after, it'll take him probably a year or so, he'll be back. I mean, there's been other college athletes that come back, around a year after that type of injury.
So as you can see, it was a very good night for sports. Well, we'll have our first look at weather coming up in the next block. Is the spring weather ever going to hit? We'll tell you next.